when I do decide to leave, that it is actually a saleable asset. Is that really important in your mind?
Oh, absolutely. And the one thing we encourage franchise partners to do is to talk to other franchises. So, I would, even though the guy that sold his territory and he sold it for $1 million, I can tell you right now that if I gave you his number and you were a new franchise partner, and I said, give this guy a call and ask him how he did it, he would tell you. And we encourage our franchise partners to talk to each other. So we have a portal, right? So every week you've got to put your sales reports in and do all that stuff. And we generate data results from that. So there's a portal you go on and you can see where every franchise partner's revenue is live that day. And you can then see how many of their customers are repeat customers, how many are commercial jobs, how many are domestic jobs. You then can go down the bottom and see where is it coming from. Is it Google or is it word of mouth, whatever. So you can look at all that free. It's part of your package. So then if I was down the bottom of that scale of revenue, I'd be ringing this guy up here saying, how the hell are you doing that? What are you doing to get there? This is where I am after 3 months. That's where you are after 7 years. So what were you doing at 3 months? How did you get there? To me, that would be my inquisitive and I'd want to achieve. So I don't like to reinvent the wheel. So if I could talk to somebody and shortcut going from there to there, quick time, low cost, because I've also got Scottish blood, I don't like, how can I do that without spending a lot of money and do it quick? Right, that's what I did. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I do. And we encourage them to do that. How many do it? It's up to them.
You know what I've seen some of your franchisees do too, and it's true. People often talk about that in franchising, like, oh, the franchisees will help each other and talk. They actually do in Gutter-Vac. Like sometimes people say it, but they actually do. And I was talking, it was one of your members of GAC because I saw them, and one of them had actually flown in earlier and went and did like half a day with another franchisee. And that franchisee's like, yeah, come in. And they took him in the office and they just opened up their books and showed him everything. And they had this whole conversation about what worked, and they were doing a sharing. It wasn't just one person sharing with the other. They went, oh, I do this, I do this. And I think they all walked away going, that's amazing. And this is what you miss. Like, you've been in business. Like, think back to your plumbing business. Could you have rocked up to another plumber and said, hey, tell me what's working? And they would sit down and open their books and show you everything?
I used to. I did. I used to. I was friends. Well, some of the successful plumbers went through tech college when we did our apprenticeship. So there was a few of us that went through tech together, and we then went out and we became contractors, and we interacted quite a bit over the years. So yeah, I was never backward in asking somebody, how the hell did you do that? Or let's do this together. I think we can be rewarded much better if we do it together. So no, I've always been interactive with people like that, and I must say, even though I'm always been fiercely independent and determined, and it's a good trait or it's a bad trait, but I'll never give up. And you know what? I said it once on LinkedIn. If at first you don't succeed, give up. And I didn't get to put the second part in because it was ravaged by people saying, no, you can't do that. The whole part of that is, if at first you don't succeed, change direction, and look for a different path to success, because, it's no use fishing in a pond that's got no fish in it. You've got to, fish, there's no fish in this pond. Okay, I'll go to a different pond, but I'm not going to stop fishing. So my business life has been determination with finding the result to get what I wanted. But I had to take a lot of detours to get there.
I think when I'm listening, because I didn't know that about you, I've been working with franchise groups for 20 years, so I get to see a lot of the inside. And one of the things that I really notice is especially when you're talking to founders of franchise groups, the number of their characteristics and value sets of how they've been put into the brand. And like listening to you, I'm like, man, you were doing things that were not common before you even started Gutter-Vac, which is actually added to its success. Like, understanding customer service, asking other people what's succeeding, knowing what good work ethic is. Like, when I listen to you now, I go, wow, I look at all the great things in Gutter-Vac and I go, actually, they're things that have come from your value sets, what you've actually imprinted into the Gutter-Vac brand. So, if you're listening to this and you like Warren, you're probably going to like Gutter-Vac, because
Well, I think it's a bit of a joint venture. Anne and I, you know, we've been married 50 years. For a start, holy mackerel, I
yeah,
must be a tremendous guy. Yeah, you are
Ian's
through that.
very patient.
Um, yeah, yeah. One of us is tolerant. Um, but we've worked in business together for 49 and a half years. Anne's, gone off and worked at the school as stenographer, and they call them in those days. But we always had the plumbing business, so we'd come home and they were doing the books and all that. But her continuous improvement mentality, which at times frustrated the hell out of me, because why do we have to change that? That's great. She said, well, because that's not going to be great. We need to make that better. So she's always pushed that barrier, and I've always challenged her on that. But then women are always right. That's
Well done.
that's historical fact, I'm afraid. But she's always been right. But then she always challenges me too. So I'll have epiphanies and great ideas, and she'll sort of just challenge it a bit and make me think about it. And I'll think, yeah, okay, well, it's a crap idea. I'll go in a different direction. But so I think the business is a result of both of us. It's certainly not just me, that's for sure. And it's not just Anne, and it's not just both of us, but there's 14 other people up there. And everybody brings stuff to the business. I mean, we've got Mace, the general manager's come in, and he's come from a different background. So he's been Gutter-Vacized. In another 12 months, his perception of Gutter-Vac will be different than when he first came in. So I think that's fantastic. I love to see that. Maybe that's what I'm waiting for. See, my son works in the business with us. He has done for years. My daughter lives in America. But I think they'll come back to Australia. And so we see the business as a legacy business rather than something we want to just flog off. And I see the family staying in it. And if that's the case, then the family values will stay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with all your years of experience in franchising, say someone's sitting here listening to our interview, listening to you, and they're thinking about becoming a franchisee. What do you think would be your top tips for them to consider before they decide to invest in a franchise, be it Gutter-Vac or something else? What would be your top things that you would recommend to them to do before they, sign on the dotted line?
Have a look at